All right, well, it's 11:02 Queensland time and 1:02 New Zealand time, so let's get started. So, Vicky, I'll just get you to share your screen with me and to record as well, and we'll get going. All right, Vicky, if you could just mute everyone, that would be great, please, as the host, so that we don't have any interruptions.
Sure.
Wow, that's awesome seeing myself so close up on a big screen.
Sorry about that.
Like on some big TV or something. Oh my goodness. Well, good morning, and in New Zealand's case, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rebecca McQuilty, and I'm an independent distributor with LifeVantage. I live on the southwest suburbs of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and it is an absolutely spectacular day here for those of you Aussies who are on the call today. Welcome, wherever you're coming in from all over the world. I wanted to jump on this call particularly today because only a couple of weeks ago I found a photo of myself that was from 3 years ago, and I thought, I don't think I actually look like that anymore. So I decided to put those two photos together, and I can really see, I don't know about you, but oh my goodness, I can see an enormous difference. I look at that first photo from 3 years ago, and actually it may have even been sort of 2.5 years ago, and I look at it and I think, oh my gosh, like, did I really look so tired? Like, I feel I look so tired in that photo. So today I really wanted to jump on and share my story with you. And, I'm partnered today by beautiful Vicky Jamison. She's a professional skincare. If we could just get everybody muted, please, that would be really, really appreciative. We want everyone to be able to hear the information. That would be awesome. Thank you. And she's going to be sharing with you a little bit more about this incredible skincare range and why it's so effective. But firstly, I wanted to actually share with you my story, because if there was one thing that somebody never said to me was, wow, Beck, you have amazing skin. You look so fresh and glowing. No one ever said that to me. Look, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas of what people did used to say. And no, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying. People actually said these things to my face. They were like, hey, you look so tired. Are you okay? Or they would say things like I never ever used to go out without makeup on, not even to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm not joking. I would get up early. It would still be dark. I would put my bathroom light on and I would put my makeup on, but particularly concealer. I've used a lot of concealer over the years. And I would use that because I had really dark circles under my eyes. If you look at my ancestry, my mother, my grandmother, and even my daughter, the way our eyes actually are, we actually have quite large divots underneath them. So for me if I was to be tired or not using a really good skincare range, then my eyes look super, super puffy. And so people used to say to me, I literally had someone say to me one day, what did you do? You get into a bar fight? You've got two black eyes. I'm not even joking. Someone actually said those words to me because I was so dark under the eyes. It literally looked like bruising. Now, most days, I don't even wear makeup if I'm at home or going to the shop, going to the gym. I don't care. I am so much more confident within myself now, purely because I've been using this incredible range for so long. So what have I noticed? I've noticed people coming up to me and asking me what type of makeup I use all the time because they feel like my skin looks a little more flawless than it used to. I'm still aging. I've just slowed the process down. I still have wrinkles, I still have, smile lines. I still have all of that. But you look at those two photos and you're like, wow, now there is no filters. There is no nothing. I was literally the other day just getting ready for work. I hopped in my car, thought I'll take a selfie, throw that on Facebook before I go. And I went, hey, my skin looks pretty good. And it was when I found that other photo and I did the comparison, I was like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you reckon? Drop a one in the box below if you don't think that I look 43. I just turned 43. In that second photo, don't you think I look younger in that second photo than the one before? Drop
Yeah.
a one below if you think I look younger now than I did 3 years ago. There's method in my madness. That's why I jumped onto this incredible skincare range. And to be honest with you, I've used the cheapest, I've used the most expensive, and yes, some of them felt nice. Yes, some of them smelt really good. Did I ever notice a really huge difference? No. I didn't really personally notice a huge difference using the TrueScience Skincare range until I've been using it for about 2 or 3 months because it's cumulative. So what I found was the longer I used it for over more time is when I've got more and more results as I've gone. But one thing that's really important to me, I live very much a holistic life, is no matter what the company was, no matter who it was, I needed to make sure that it was safe for my body. Because I look back on products that I used in my 20s and even my early 30s when I thought it was such a good thing to have such a high fragrance, high smelling product. I had no idea the damage that I was doing to my body until I really started doing some research. And I started researching when I had a baby. I wanted to make sure that I was using the best of the best on her. And it wasn't until then that I really discovered what's in products. And it's scary. I'm not going to lie. It's really scary. And you need to know. You need to know what's in your body products. You need to know what's in your hair care because I can tell you there is some nasty fillers and, carcinogens in these products, which you just would never think that that's the case, but it's true. I remember my mum saying to me, Rebecca, they wouldn't be allowed to sell it in a supermarket if it wasn't safe for you. I said, Mum, they sell cigarettes. And she was like, yeah, you have a valid point. So what I did when I first came on board is I looked at the ingredients. That was my first thing. But for those of you who are not that way inclined, most people are not, I recommend that you download an app called the Think Dirty app because it's there that you'll see that this TrueScience skincare and hair care range is either a one or a two. It's super, super safe. So that was really, really important to me. So yes, I want my skincare to be effective. Yes, I want it to make me younger by the day, but I also am not willing to compromise my health for results. So I hope that you enjoyed my testimony. I'm going to now hand you over to the beautiful Vicky Jamison. Vicky is a skin and wellness expert specializing in a holistic approach to anti-aging, which naturally anti-aging sounds amazing. She's hormone balancing through nutrition and helping women achieve sustained energy. She is a highly qualified beauty therapist, a holistic aromatherapist and skin nutritionist with more than 28 years experience in the beauty and health and well-being industry. She has owned and run many successful beauty and wellness businesses whilst living in New Zealand for more than 20 years and currently now operates a clinic both globally online and locally down in Victoria in Melbourne. So Vicky, I'm going to hand it over to you, and I would love to hear more from a specialist point of view. Why is this skincare so effective? So thanks so much, Vicky.
Thanks, Rebecca, so much. And I love the whole philosophy that you've just shared. Those pictures are amazing. And I do encourage you, everyone who tries this range, to do the before and after. Because as you say, Rebecca, you can't see it when you're looking in the mirror every day.
No.
It's just not that apparent. But when you look back, you can really see, wow, my skin has improved so much. And as women, we look in the mirror and we judge ourselves, I find, by what we see. And so that was one of my philosophies to beauty therapy many years ago, was the fact that when we looked in the mirror, if we hadn't had a good night's sleep, we looked tired, or those bags under our eyes looked a bit worse. And most of the time, I find women are juggling so many things. We've got kids and families and careers and household stuff and social things. We're the organizers. And so we're running around and perhaps not looking after ourselves quite to the amount that we should be. And sometimes we just slap on a bit of skincare, hoping that it's going to do the trick. So there is a little bit more of a technical side to it. And that's what I want to share with you today. But it doesn't need to be hard. We can still keep it really simple and have a really effective result. So I want to share with people the comparison between your skin being the biggest organ in your body and it reflecting your health as well as what you're putting on your skin. So as Rebecca said, what you put on simply affects your health. It comes internally. It takes 26 seconds for chemicals to get internally and have an impact. So we really need to keep that in mind. So having said that, as independent distributors, we cannot claim to cure, heal, prevent, mitigate, or diagnose any disease. And this information that we're sharing today is here to help you, but it's for educational purposes. So do enjoy. So to start off with the skin, it's really key to understand that it's a two-part series. It's what we see on the top, and it's also what we have going on underneath. So the underneath part is affected by many things, most of which we call free radicals. So we would know that on the external side of our skin as pollution, sun damage, heat, cold, extremes in our working environments. Perhaps you're a chef and you're working in a hot steamy oven, or at the gym and you're sweating a lot. Perspiration breaks down our skin barrier. So those are all things that our skin on the surface comes into contact with and we're a lot more aware of. But there's also other things that we're not aware of, and we perhaps don't think of it impacting our skin, but it does affect the collagen layer in our skin, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. But I want you just to make this correlation between medications, inactivity, so exercise and fresh air, and also the toxins and pesticides that we are ingesting, whether that's in the water that we're drinking, in foods that we have as chemicals, skincare products that we're not aware of with chemicals, and processes that we're doing, so breathing. So this creates a condition called oxidative stress, and that's an overload of what we call free radical damage. And this affects every organ that we see in our body, including our skin. So think of free radical damage like when you cut an apple in half and you leave it on the bench, and what happens? The surface goes brown, right? So that's oxidizing. That pretty much is happening to the surface of our skin with lines and wrinkles. And it's also happening on the internal side. So just remember, your skin is your biggest organ, and we can use it as a tool to say, hey, if it's looking a bit dull, if it's lining, or those bags under our eyes are looking more than it was yesterday, think about what's going on internally. So what can we do about oxidative stress? Traditionally, we have eaten good quality food, so it's all our fruits and vegetables that give us antioxidants, and that's how we quench the free radical damage that's happening. However, with those conditions that are happening more so in today's environment and today's lifestyle than ever before, think of Wi-Fi, for example. We're all working at home at the moment, or perhaps not working, and that Wi-Fi is going through our bodies as we go about our day, and our body is having to deal with that or detoxify that from our system because we can't use it for energy. So to eat enough, whoops, I didn't put that slide in. To eat enough good vegetables and good fruits to create enough antioxidants to squash that free radical damage or that oxidative stress, we would have to have 6 kilos of blueberries a day or 375 oranges to quench that, and we just can't do that. It's just not realistic. So yes, we should have a great lifestyle, exercise, stress management is really important, but what if we could flip the switch on our own body's ability to make its own antioxidants at a much higher rate? And this is what we're going to talk about today. So the first solution is actually for your skin, an internal solution, And this is called activating the NRF2 pathway. So we're using 5 herbs, so 5 natural compounds: milk thistle, bacopa, which is good for brain health. Milk thistle is good for liver and detoxifying and metabolism. Ashwagandha is really good for stress management and helping with anxiety. Green tea is a natural antioxidant, and it's also great for metabolism. And turmeric has known anti-inflammatory results, or helps with that type of thing. So all of those combined together activate the pathway that we naturally have in our body already to create more antioxidants. So that what we're suggesting here, the LifeVantage, which is the company that produces these products, is actually creating a pathway activation. So it's not a supplement, where you are creating 1 million times more free radicals than you are, sorry, I've got some background noise coming in here, than you are ingesting. So that's the slide there that says 6 kilos of blueberries is what you need to create your antioxidants. So, or you could choose to have 87 glasses of red wine each day. That might not work. So on the graph you can see there, with this product Protandim, without Protandim, your oxidative stress goes up as we get older, and that would make sense. As we get older, we age from about 25 years of age. So I remember when I trained in a beauty range, it was a French trainer, and she said, I was about 27 at the time, and she said, "Oh, your skin's mature." And I said, "Oh no, I'm 27. And she said, "No, anyone over 25 has mature skin." And that is because that aging process has started. So we are now into our the mechanism that is breaking down on the inside, rather than, you know, staying young. That's just natural. So we want to slow that down as much as possible. So as we age on that graph, without Protandim, that is accelerated, and particularly more so in today's environment. Whereas with Protandim, we can keep those effects of free radical damage and oxidative stress very, very low. And that can be proven in blood tests. So it's the combination that is the key of those ingredients that help that oxidation squashing, basically. So it's the combination. I actually thought, oh, you know what? I actually use some of these herbs already. That's great. I don't know anyone else who does that. I had smoothies every day, and I was thought I had a great lifestyle. But what I have found is, since using this, my hair, skin, and nails grow so quickly. I am cutting them, obviously, because I'm doing massage all the time, because they're getting the results of this internal product. So for me, and for you to know as well, skin, hair, and nails are always the last thing that you notice internally when you are cleaning up your diet or your lifestyle to show results. And that's just because nutrients will feed and activate and repair on the inside first, and then come out to the skin. So for me to see this in less than 3 months is, I was amazed. The other thing that I was really impressed by from a professional point of view was that this was reviewed by medical societies and journals. So the research that was done on oxidative stress is published, and there's 25 peer-reviewed journal publications on this product and the results of oxidative stress reduction. So here are some of the universities that independently studied Protandim and the effects of oxidative stress on the body. So go research it, go Google it. One of the most powerful wordings that really impacted me was from Washington State University, and said that this was likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. And as an anti-aging specialist, I'm always looking for the new research coming out, because science is amazing and it can really impact how we function as a body, and how we fuel ourselves, and therefore how our skin can look. And so for this pathway, NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health, was incredible. So I was really impressed by that itself, that statement, to dive in and look a little bit further. And if it can help our body and our wellness, it can certainly help the way that we age on the outside. So this wonderful skincare range, TrueScience, is what I like about it. There's quite a few things actually that I really like about it. And from a professional point of view, what I found in salon was a lot of the ranges that I already had were huge. So we might have had 50, 60 products for all the different conditions and all the different things. And a lot of my clients would get overwhelmed. And what do I need for fine lines? What do I need for bags under my eyes? I've got pigmentation. So what do I need? So one of the things I like about this range is it's really simple and easy to use. However, it's also really effective. So there's 4 main products and that's it. They do everything. One of the things that was key when I was looking for ranges, and this has been throughout my entire career, was to look for something that was plant-based and chemical-free. So in the beginning, almost 30 years ago, when I decided I wanted to start my own business, I was looking for something that had plant extracts because that vibrationally works with our human cell vibrations. And so we actually can use the food and the nutrients to rebuild and regenerate and repair, which is what we're looking for. So that was one criteria. The other criteria is that it had to be clean, what I call clean, which meant that the least amount of toxicity as was humanly possible. Now, nearly 28 years ago, I found this very challenging. In fact, there was hardly anything on the market that ticked that box, as well as the third component I wanted was something that was anti-aging. So in the industry, we call that active ingredients. That means there are ingredients that do something to that repair processing of our cell, our skin cell, at a lower level so it can keep regenerating and repairing. So I couldn't find at that time anything that was totally clean and anti-aging. So that was, I had to make a choice that I could get the cleanest on the market at the time. But the key was it really had to be anti-aging. Otherwise, for me as a professional, there was no point. If I couldn't instigate a change in my client's skin, plus I wanted it for myself, there was no point being a professional. So many years later, we are now so fortunate as consumers that we've become a lot more aware, and we have demanded of the cosmetology industry to clean up their act. There was a lot of toxins in our skincare ranges, and there still is today, a lot of the mainstream brands. So I do encourage you to get that Think Dirty app that Rebecca talked about earlier, and you can download the scanning barcode thing, and so you can just quickly look at the barcodes on all the products in the supermarket or wherever you're looking to purchase product and say, how clean is it? Because honestly, it makes a difference to your health as well as your skin. So getting back to the range, once I came across this range, I was really impressed with that technology side of things. So I wanted to share with you a little bit more about that today. So I'm going to go through these here now. Of course, this is a simulation, and I think it's really apparent as we think about aging. When we have a before and after, we want it to be more like what Rebecca shared, going backwards, rather than what you see here, the youth and then the age. And I know for me, this is becoming more and more paramount as I have grandchildren. I have a little granddaughter now. And so retirement is closer than not. And so I don't want to end up looking like that woman on the right. I don't know about you. I want to minimize the amount of lines I have. And the health of my body is one thing, but what I use on my skin is another. So just to give you a little slice of what I see when people come into me and what I help educate women on, is this is a cross section of the skin, and it's really valuable to know how to think about your skin when you're thinking about it as an organ. So that top part that you see there is what we see on our skin, and this is what our moisturizer or our skincare is doing for us, or what we think it's doing for us. It's also where that all the external conditions are having its biggest impact. So all that oxidative stress and pollution and sun damage, this is having a marked effect on that orange area right on the surface. As we age, this breaks down over time if we don't protect it right. So this is one of the key things with having a good skincare range, is that we're working on protecting that barrier. Obviously, we want it to look plump and gorgeous, but protection from a body's perspective is its main priority. So we want that to be key, basically, so moisturized. And that's also where your toxins, if there's toxins in a product range, whether that's your skincare or whether that's hair care, body washes, anything that's coming into contact with your skin, detergents, that can absorb through that layer, and you can see the little red blobs there are blood vessels, and then down further the blue and the red lines are blood vessels. So you can see how closely everything's going to soak down into those lower levels. That pink level that you see there is our collagen, which is like a mattress to our skin. And again, as we get older, this gets damaged by free radicals from the inside. So the Protandim product that I talked about in the beginning has a bigger impact on that collagen layer through there and that cushioning to support our skin so that we don't show as deeper lines. So if you're looking for less lines, less furrows, dehydration lines, it's coming from the underneath. So it's really important from a skincare perspective to look at the inside as well as the outside. So what does our product range have in it? So very similar to the Protandim with the milk thistle, green tea, turmeric and bacopa. So obviously they have great regenerating properties for our skin cells. And we also have a few other ingredients in there. Plantago, which works on structure, it's a protein, so it works on firmness of the skin. Brassica family, which is the cauliflowers and the broccolis, they have a very powerful effect on pigmentation. And so does black pepper. So it actually, as we get older, we can get age spots around here, particularly from the sun. So we want something to be working on the surface, but also in that mid layer. If I go back to that slide there, that sandwichy effect where those red blobs are, we want it to be working in there, which is a lot of the repair work that your skin and the functioning that your skin is doing. So hydration, repairing, regenerating, protection, that type of thing. So all those ingredients are working on that top layer. And when I say top, it's not the surface, it's into that sandwiched area. So what exactly do we have? The first product is the Gentle Foaming Cleanser, or our facial cream. And this is sulfate free, which is key. You'll find that compared to other foaming cleansers, it doesn't foam as much, which I personally really love. I do not like the really foamy ones because I find it very stripping and very drying. So this is very a clean foam. It's great for men who want to use it as a shaving cream, but it still does the goods. So it still cleans off makeup, cleans off pollution, and that's its job, is to actually get rid of the pollution and things that sit on our skin, sweat, if we've been out exercising, that would normally break down that barrier that I talked about. So we want it to be gentle, because if it's dry, then it's stripping and then it's breaking down that barrier. So it's very key. The second product is called Perfecting Lotion. So this acts like a toner. So this quite often is a product in any range that can be skipped. However, it's one of the key things that can really help for anti-aging. So when we cleanse, we naturally lift off the debris of our skin. And when we tone or use a lotion, it's usually pH balancing our skin to get it into its natural balance, so it can protect the inside better. So this is what this is doing. It's ethanol free, and it has a brightening serum. So remember I talked about those age spots that we get over time with sun? This is actually helping to reduce a lot of the damage that's happening from that surface action. The Eye Corrector Serum is a gel consistency, which I love. It's nice and light. It's not heavy, and you must remember with eye creams or serums that you're using it very gently around the eyes. So you're starting at the outsides, you're going over that orbital bone, that hard bony area. And normally we would say you cannot go over this eyelid area. With the eye serum, I have found it amazing for the lifting through here. So I'm not using it on my lid itself, but on this higher boned area, mainly because over the years, I have had, other conditions. I had eczema in my 20s and 30s. And so I went through a period of time where I had bad eczema. I did correct that with good lifestyle and getting cleaner. But it did leave me with a number of lines and sagging under my eyes here. And I had been looking for almost 10 years for a product that would help lift. I'm now on my 3rd tube of the serum. And I can see now, I've got photos, so I will post them soon. I can see that left eyelid is actually starting to move up here. So what I do is put it up here, and I actually use it on this above my brow area, because that's the part that starts to droop as we get older. So it's great for dark circles. It's great for minimizing bags under the eyes. So great if you haven't had a good night's sleep. But it also is very firming, which is excellent for hiding any little fine lines from dehydration. And the 4th and final product, which is one of the key things I love, it's so simple, is the anti-aging cream. So this helps on many levels. So with this technology, which I'm going to go through in a moment, which is in each of these skincare items, it helps to regenerate faster. So it's working on moisturizing and getting the regeneration happening, but because it has the NRF2 activator in it, and all of these skincare lines or skincare products do, what that means is the effects of the pollution and the sun damage and all that free radical damage and breakdown that's normally happening as we get older, it's being minimized by the amount of free radical neutralizing that we can do. So if you think back to that slide where we're going 1 million times of antioxidants are produced by one cell, we now have skin cells that are producing at the top rather than waiting for the inside to come up, but at the top with the creams that we're putting on, we can be neutralizing those at 1 million times what we were before. That is actually going to have a massive effect on your skin. And as you saw by Rebecca's proof, is that for her skin, it had improved in color, in texture, in lining, in vibrancy. And as we age, I think that as women particularly, but guys as well, we want to look good. It gives us confidence. And so that NRF2 activation is helping every product in our range have that effect while we are using simply a skincare routine. So clearly with a regime, as a professional, I always recommend that you use a range together. So don't use bits and bobs, and that's my professional opinion as well as my personal opinion. You get a better result by using everything that's meant to be going together. Of course, you can use dribs and drabs, but you don't get the result. So if you want to be serious about your skin, using it as a regime, you see in the center there, you have the sweet spot, we call it in business, but in skincare, it's definitely where the magic happens. So Yuzu is the fragrance. It's a beautiful smell throughout the product range, and it's fresh, it's light. I find too, from a skincare range that has a good fragrance, many women will try it and say, oh, it smells great. It's plant-based, so we know it's good for us. And we also have the feel-good feeling. So you want your skincare rituals to be a feel-good so that it's creating good brain waves. And at night when you're doing it, it then promotes a healthier sleep pattern and like a bedtime routine. So I love that about it as well. There are some clinical studies that have been done, and you can see here for the 28 days, it shows a 32% increase in skin moisture. And most of my clients will say, if I came in and said, what are you not happy with your skin? They will say it's dry or it's dehydrated. Those are the main things, or lines. So as we get older, those are the two main things we want to change. So here in 28 days, 32% of women said it increased in skin moisture, and over 56, it was 42% or higher increase in skin moisture. So if you can increase that as you progress accumulatively, again, as Rebecca said, it's an accumulative effect, then that's got to be good, right? The second range that it has is this hair care range. And I actually love the smell. It's very pepperminty, and it's very invigorating in the morning. I love how it makes my hair feel. And I'm not sure, Sharon, if you can unmute. I was just going to see if you could perhaps pop on. Oh, perfect. Sharon's been using the hair conditioning treatment, and I just love the fact that your hair looks so beautiful.
Thanks, Vicky. I absolutely love this range, and as you can see from the testimonial and amazing information from Rebecca and Vicky, this is truly a great range. Now, for me as a holistic health coach that specializes in hormones, but also as a mum and a wife and a woman, I want something that's going to be effective, that's not going to add anything into my body. Our thyroids are particularly sensitive to toxins. They're fussy little so-and-sos. So when you've got a range as beautiful as TrueScience, you're not going to be impacting your hormones. And the effects are brilliant. I've noticed that my hair stays cleaner for longer. It's shinier. I'm actually having people comment now on how good my hair looks. And as a woman, you know, that's what you want. And I'm closer to 60 than I am to 50. So from an anti-aging perspective, I want to look as good as I can for as long as I can. So I love this range. It's perfect. I've also got my husband using the scalp serum because he's getting a little bit thin on top, and it's becoming a bit thicker. There are definitely changes there, but that's kind of a long-term project.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing that. And I also have my mum on the scalp serum. So we, as a family, have thinning hair. So this is my aim with the hair care products, with the NRF2 activation, stimulating circulation and creating more healthy hair, that I will have less thinning than my mum has, and she's hoping to have a thicker head of hair for the future. So that do try this, the shampoo and conditioner. That last product that I mentioned, the hair scalp product, was launched last year and actually won Silver Stevie Award, 2019 winner for best product. So it's certainly a product to watch. And I know a lot of men out there have balding issues too. So if it could actually help with increasing hair, I know a lot of men would be very helpful. Actually, if I could ask if everyone could mute themselves so we get a nice clear transmission for everyone, that would be great. Thank you so much. So Rebecca mentioned earlier the Think Dirty app that she used and recommended, and this is great for showing that toxicity level. So that's what it looks like if you haven't seen it before. So as a company, I just want to share a little bit about LifeVantage. It's been around for a long time, 2003. And its claim to fame, or when it got really well known, was from an investigative report that was featured on ABC Primetime in 2005, where they had an investigative journalist take Protandim, the NRF2 activator, and he was there to actually debunk the theory that this tablet actually didn't work, or this activation didn't work. So he went live on camera every day taking this tablet, and he had his bloods taken. So what that showed was his rate of oxidative stress in his blood. And the thing was, when he came out of that 28 days later, his oxidative stress in his blood was 75% less than when it started. So instead of debunking it, the medical world went crazy and said, hey, we want to test this for ourselves and do it, see if it does what you say it does. And so that's what led to all those published studies that I mentioned earlier. The great thing was that we had all these studies done by all these leading universities, and it created a hype of excitement. And we're excited here in Australia to have it now for 4 years, and it's only touching the market. So as you can see on the graph here, the wellness industry, this says in US and Canada, but it's the same in Australia and New Zealand, has grown by over 60% in the last 8 years. And as a beauty therapist, the natural skincare ranges has increased in the last 5 years massively. So the difference there is we need to have something that's also really healthy for us, as well as very anti-aging. And the inside story makes a big difference to our skin in the anti-aging process. So there's been over 220,000 studies published on oxidative stress, and you can look at so many of those publications, just Google it. So this is the perfect meld, whether you are like me and have a salon, which not many people would have, but if you have a skin, you certainly would be interested in this. A lot of us with our current environment with COVID are now working from home, or perhaps we're not working at all. This allows you to have that laptop lifestyle that you see so much on social media. So I'm finding it's a great mix for me as a business owner to have as an option. I always wanted to take some of my business online for when I one day retire, and also, as Sharon said, she's closer to 60. Well, I'm in my mid-50s now. I have a granddaughter. I'm planning to slow down on my physical work in salon, and so building up something to have on the side that can take me into that future. So social sharing, it's a bit of a tongue twister. Social sharing is something that we do a lot more nowadays. And I have an Instagram account. I'm not sure if you do, but I get approached a lot of the time on some of the posts that I do. Can you sell my product? Can you do this? This is like, why don't we just do that for ourselves and make some income or extra money on the side? So this is a virtual office. You have minimal business assets if you're doing it as a business, and no inventory. So that is key. That is key when you want to make some extra income. So as a business opportunity, you can make a lot of money, or you can make a little bit of money. It's entirely up to you. I just wanted to put this chart up here to show that whatever you choose is actually possible if you choose to run this as a referral program or recommending the products, which is how we work it. And if you do, quite often you think, well, how would I do this? Because I'm not a beauty specialist like you are. So the great thing I like about this is it's simple for everyone to use and plug into, and it has what we call a system. So these are locked and loaded little videos that we can share the products with people. We have an online website, we have links we can share with people, and we're basically just sharing our lifestyle and what we're using and loving ourselves. A bit like when you go to the movies, you see a good movie and you might tell your friends about it. The difference is we have the structure behind it so that we could get paid. So I find most people are either stressed, perhaps over their business. Certainly for me, I was looking for a better way to have extra income and leverage my time. I was already busy. So I wanted to have, still be in my industry. I love it, be with like-minded people, and be moving forward with where my next stage of life was going to be, which is certainly changing in the next 10 years. So please ask the person who brought you on to the webinar today if you would like more information on the products, on the skincare, a little bit more about the company. Become a customer. It's fantastic what the results can do in such a short time. Everyone feels something different. Your body is unique and your skin is unique. So it's all a total package. So become a customer and experience that for yourselves. And if you're wanting to join our team, we would like to welcome you on. So thank you very much for your time today. And I hope you've learned something beautiful about your skin. Thank you, everyone.